Bueno, mis niños, muy buenas noches, buenas tardes todavía. Vamos entonces a hacer esta pequeña sesión. La primera parte vamos a hacer como de preguntas, si tienen alguna pregunta con respecto a las actividades. Luego, si tienen avances, me los pueden mostrar. O si de pronto tienen... y luego vamos a hablar un poco y a discutir el tema de la lectura que tenemos para hacer el mind map. ¿Listo? Listo,
Ok,
listo. Entonces, los escucho, mis niños. ¿Tienen alguna inquietud?
bueno, así sí, sigue Carlos.
Los escucho.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, my dear.
Hi, teacher. How's it going? It's me
Pretty
again,
fine.
Javier. Teacher, I hope you find these difficult times. Your family, I hope you're perfect.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I have just one thing to say, teacher. I've been working on the my map.
Uh-huh.
That's the first task I'm performing,
Uh-huh.
and
Yes.
I doing it well. And actually, I finished my map.
Uh-huh.
I'm for two more tasks, the task B and task C.
Yeah. Okay. The
And
classroom,
format,
Google. Uh-huh.
correct, teacher. Task B and task C, and the format number 8, and that's it.
Okay. Okay, great. So you are doing it right.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Thank you, Carlos. Jesus, do you have any question?
Bueno, tutora, en el momento, pues creo que he terminado apenas el mapa mental, perdón,
Ajá. Sí, señor.
y pues no he avanzado más, ni siquiera he leído qué es lo que sigue, así que pues en el momento no tendría ninguna pregunta, más bien esperar a adelantar y luego de pronto las preguntas
Oh, bueno.
florecerían. Ajá.
Ok,
Sí,
listo,
gracias.
perfecto. No sé si alguno ha tenido problemas con el simulador de tareas, ¿no? ¿Todos han podido ingresar?
Hola, profe. Yo sí.
Hello. ¿Sí? Ah, bueno,
Profe, yo
listo.
tenía unas preguntas en cuanto
Cuéntame.
a lo del Google Classroom.
Classroom. Ujú.
Yo casi como que no entiendo yo estoy pensando, profe, mira, te comento. Yo aquí
Ajá.
estaba desarrollando antes de iniciar la clase, llenando unas cositas aquí.
Ujú.
Pero entonces mi idea es poner 5 temas: el presente simple, el pasado, el
Ujú.
futuro, como todos en una misma clase. O sea, cada tema lo vamos dividiendo y voy haciendo unas actividades de cada tema. ¿Usted qué piensa?
Yo preferiría, mi querida, que nos enfoquemos como en una. Es que el presente simple tú puedes sacar muchas cosas, muchísimas cosas, varias actividades. Y de pronto, como que si te expandes tanto, yo creo que es mejor que escojas un tema y ese tema lo vas organizando, o sea, vas organizando todas las actividades de acuerdo al tema. Recuerda que hay que hacer una introducción, hay que dar una explicación, una evaluación, ¿sí? Y de pronto como que se te va, y además hay que tener objetivos claros. Entonces de pronto se te agranda, es como
Claro, se me extiende mucho. Yo eso era lo que estaba pensando, que si lo hacía de todos los temas, nada más de uno.
sí, coge uno. Como te digo, presente simple tiene muchas cosas. Está el daily routine, o si estás hablando, por ejemplo, presente simple con verbo to be, entonces podemos hablar de presentación personal, e incluso cómo agregar la S a los verbos, si estamos hablando de los verbos regulares y irregulares. ¿Sí me hago entender?
Sí, claro.
Entonces, yo creo que podemos más bien así, como que de pronto sí, como hacerlo más específico, porque de pronto se te agranda mucho, mi querida. ¿Listo?
Listo, profe, muchas gracias. Esa era mi
Bueno,
duda.
ay, bueno, listo.
Lo del mapa mental todavía la verdad no lo he hecho porque quiero adelantar primero esa tarea.
Ok, listo, perfecto.
Lo
Entonces voy a
del...
compartir. ¿Cómo?
Ajá. No,
Tranquila,
quería
cuenta.
decir que lo del simulador ya lo hice, profe.
Listo. Sí, yo estaba pensando en eso porque me preocupa un poco que no tengan acceso a eso porque sí hemos tenido problemas. Por ejemplo, yo no tengo acceso. Entonces, eso estoy como pensando y están solucionando todo. Pero si ustedes tienen acceso, pues ahí ya nos salvamos un poquito. ¿Lista?
Listo.
Okay. Okay, my dear. So, we're going to start with this little discussion. And then I want to ask you to close your microphones, please.
Yeah, my microphone is okay. Okay.
Yes, but close it, please.
Hello, teacher.
Hola, Ceci.
Buenas tardes,
Buenas tardes,
compañeros.
Ceci. Bueno, Ceci, te contextualizo. Vamos a iniciar una pequeña discusión. Entonces les estoy pidiendo que por favor cierren los micrófonos, ¿vale? Para que yo les voy a explicar de qué trata. ¿Listo? Cierren los micrófonos, por favor. Listo, okay. So, for the first task of this activity guide, you have to develop a mind map, right? And you have to do it based on a reading that you will find in the knowledge environment. So, I read this reading, and it is very interesting. And I took some ideas of this reading, and I would like to discuss it with you. For this activity, I will try to speak little because I want you to speak here. Okay, so I took some passages from the readings, and I'm going to read them, and you have to discuss, and you have to say what you think about the idea that I gave. Okay, so the first thing is research and teaching methodologies and practices for understanding pedagogy. Okay, so this is the reading. So the first thing that we start reading in the text is why not pedagogy? So most prestigious educational institutions, such as the ancient universities of Oxford and Cambridge, have contemptuously rejected the idea that a professional knowledge base is required for the job of teaching. So this is a statement from the reading. Then what do you think about this? Do you think this is right? Do you think maybe that it is required that a person need a knowledge or a professional knowledge for teaching? Or everybody can do it? What do you think? Don't be afraid of talking, okay? The idea is that you express your ideas here. Okay? Anybody?
Different question. It's a hard question to explain right now. I need some more time to try to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So I need a few minutes to
Okay.
come to.
Okay, understand. Okay, thank you, Jesus. Okay, this is I don't know. I think that sometimes people think that our job is not so important, you know? Some people think that teaching is easy, that everybody can teach, right? In universities, at schools, we have known how other people just start to work on these places without any idea of how to teach. They just have the knowledge of the contents, but they don't know how to teach. Okay, or sometimes we know that they have the professional instruction of how to teach, but the content is not so clear for them. So what do you think about it?
Teacher, I
Well,
was reading on the
Carlos, sí.
in that article you guys can say so far is that I don't know if I understood them well, but I think it's somehow confusing what the offers a university says because Mama, aquí hay que mentir, mami, ya. So, because what I understood so far is that uh, the activity of teaching is born with the person, and somehow it's like being some discriminating thought.
Okay.
And I think it's important what other countries are doing, like taking into account this science, these pedagogies and science.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I don't agree with the statement of why not. I think it's important.
Yeah, of course.
Is that they are not taking importantly the concept of it importantly and be always highlighted because it is important to know about what we're doing, as other countries are doing as well, like United States, Australia. What I wanted to say.
Okay, Carlos. Yes, this is a good statement. Even many people or other people are doing very well their job, even they don't have the instruction on how to teach. And yes, they sometimes that thing born with us, but sometimes it doesn't, right? And that is the thing, because in our schools or in our university, we have people that are not able to teach so much, or maybe they know how to know the content, but they don't know how to teach, right? But what you said is very, very important. And in the text, yes, it is very clear there. So it is just an idea that I want you to discuss. So thank you, Carlos. Was a good statement. Okay, everybody else? Viviana, Cecilia, Valentina, Cecilia.
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
I consider that really is really important to learn how to teach to students, because if you don't have any study, any strategy or method how to start to learning to teach him, sorry. So I agree that it's really necessary to obtain a study of methods, of strategies to um, to to be able to teach of another people.
Okay. Yes. This is true. Okay. Thank you, Valentina. Okay. Anybody else? Or just go on.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, Cecilia.
I understand. And I think that studying a very calm and better process the professional knowledge, but in the requirement that of teaching. This is
Okay.
important
Yeah. Okay.
for we as students for we practice.
Okay. So the practice of teaching, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Cecilia. All right. Here is another idea that I got from the reading. It's the human aspect. Sometimes our behavior is very problematic. Okay, because we are teachers. We have to manage a lot of students in just one classroom. Even some of you have the experience of being teaching for many years, and we know that each person has a word, you know, and each person is different. And maybe a word that you say can be very harsh for any student, right? So even in our classroom, in our schools, parents are a little bit worried because there is bully in our classroom, because there is abuse even by the teacher. So here is something that I want to read, and then you can discuss and give me your ideas, okay? So the new theories help us to become aware of how complex, ambiguous, implicative, and fragile human relationships are, and how nothing is sacred in our new postmodern world. Even those who are critical of the sometimes excessive nature of the New Order theories may be willing to admit that our knowledge forms and practices are often built on naive assumptions concerning the intentionality of human motivation, inclination, predicaments, and propensities. And then, what do you think about this? Okay, so here I want you to think about the image that your students may have about you. Yeah.
Okay, teacher, may I talk?
Uh-huh.
Teacher, I think just to move forward on this interesting topic,
Uh-huh.
I would like to make my or create or to imagine somehow we as teachers got to be aware of that teaching is not only the step-to-step instruction. So we as teachers have to be aware of human relationships and also
Yes.
about many other aspects about humans, because
Human.
as we know, normally we as humans are involved in different stages and problematics that we have to face. And we as teachers have not only a knowledge source, we have to be also, according to new theories, we need other faces. We have to be aware, and we have to be prepared to assume other type of characteristics that you want as teachers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to be friends. We have to be. We have to build critical thinking. We have to. We need to take different roles. That's it,
Yes.
teacher. So far, what I want to say.
Yeah, thank you, Carlos. Yes, even we are psychologists. So is that's it true. We play a lot of roles in our classrooms. Not only the teacher. No, we are friends. Even sometimes we are parents. So this is very difficult.
Police officers,
Uh-huh. And
nurses.
exactly. Even once I had to be a nurse in the classroom. It was, my God. Okay, everybody else? I'm sorry, anybody else? Anybody else?
Human, yes.
Okay, guys. Jesus, Cecilia, Valentina, are you there?
Okay, I'm here. Well,
Okay,
well,
Jesus.
my tutor, this topic is very important, and then maybe the next time I would like to take a more time to think about this topic and prepare my statement, because
Okay.
yes, right now I try to think, but my mind is going away, and
Okay, Jesus, I
yeah.
understand. Thank you. Okay, here what I want you to think and to try to to yourself, and this is a kind of auto-evaluation, okay? The image that you are or that you want to project to your students, okay? So how do you want that they see to you, okay? If you want to be a fair teacher, if you want to be a good teacher, no one that is always judging your capabilities, but the one who is trying to encourage you to be a good teacher, to be a good student, to be a good person, to be a good human being, okay? So that's what I want you to think about it. So here is something that I want you to know. So think back to one teacher, okay? You think back to one teacher and describe in an anecdote a particular experience with this teacher. In your anecdote, refer to how the teacher talked, acted, behaved, or used certain gestures. Describe the kinds of things that were said, showed, taught, or learned in this lesson or school situation. What manner of speaking, choice of words, personal demeanor, or way of behaving may have been part of this situation? What was this experience like for you? Do you have a good or bad experience with a teacher in your childhood, or maybe the university? Okay, maybe a gesture, maybe a word that you heard from a teacher that you said, oh my God, it was so mean, or it was so good. Do you?
Teacher, I have the experience of having both good
Yeah,
teachers and bad teachers.
yeah, of course.
And in my particular experience, I could remark on the fact that I saying with the so I remember those bad teachers, and I know for sure how I will never be depending on those experiences.
Yes.
So somehow those bad teachers gave me like the gave me somehow the clues of how not to be.
Okay, yeah.
And good
That's
teachers
it.
are also more importantly that the knowledge or what I remember from good teachers is the fact that the way they behave.
Yes. Of course.
Personality, I mean. So a normally teacher, if you when you ask to a student, hey, tell me a teacher you have, tell me about a teacher you can remember, and they will always tell you about somebody they had that more than knowing a lot was a good person.
Yes,
You will always
exactly.
remember those little details. Those little details, like giving a candy when the student is hungry, or giving some
when he's sad.
somebody that hurt you when you were sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So you remember teachers' behaviors more than the knowledge.
Yes. 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 It's a good. Yes. It's very true. Okay. Thank you, Carlos. Anybody?
Teacher Valentina.
Hola, Valentina. Okay, go ahead.
I not have any bad experience. On contrary, I always have a good experiences with my teachers at the school. Teacher is my inspiration because she is or was, I don't know, teacher in my school, secondary. Her name was Dalia. Is Dalia? I'm sorry. Then she was a really interesting teacher because she was strict. Yeah, but I consider to go to be a good teacher, you need to practice you practice a lot of behaviors. For example, the I don't remember this word. You need to be strict with your students, but you need to
to be kind, maybe to be
yeah,
able to
to be kind.
talk, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She have all these. I don't remember this word, teacher.
Okay. What are you trying to say?
Yeah, but she was my inspiration
Okay,
because she was a really important teacher in my life.
Yeah, I got a similar experience.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a teacher, or I had a teacher in university, and she was my inspiration for being a teacher as well. So it is very kind of very nice to have that experience. Of course, I have had bad teachers as well, teachers that were so nasty, or they were so unkind all the time. They were mad all the time, that I said, why they are teaching? Why are they teaching? Why do they choose this career? So that's a bad thing that we have in our classroom, in our institutions. And the idea is that you be a good teacher, not the bad one, but the good one, right? So here I got some perceptions and some stories from the text that I said, oh my God, this is so sad, but it is something that happened in our classroom, in our institutions, and the idea is to be aware of the situations and to be able to correct them. Okay, so this is the first one. Jeff, this problem is a real brainer. Do you think you can tackle it? Tackle it. I walk to the board at the front of the class and quickly did the equation. This was a new school for me, and I had no trouble with any of the subjects. The teacher looked at my solution. That is a good shortcut, she said. And as she started to explain the procedure, she joked, aren't we lucky to have an Einstein among us? I sort of smiled, but as I walked back to my seat, near the near the back, I distinctly hear muffled name calling and hissing. Some of the kids smirked and rolled their eyes. Others looked outright hostile. I realized that things were different in this school, and that doing well was not considered cool. I was somewhat taken aback and amazed how in my new school most kids would shun you if you seemed to be trying to do well in your studies. Gradually, I learned the art of pretending to be dumb and dull. My God, this is so sad, right? That a student who has the knowledge and can be able to show it, right? Just because the other students don't like it, or they just it's a kind of fashion to be clever, right? And I had seen this in schools. This is horrible because they are called nerds. So, what do you think?
Yes, teacher. And when I was kid,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was student in the high school,
Uh-huh.
I have difficult things to keep on my to continue my student course. A few teacher, English teacher,
Uh-huh.
they don't have to ability to a skill to speak in English. So
Mm-hmm.
the people in the classroom that speak English is
Mm-hmm.
one of those boys that want to go to another country. And
Mm-hmm.
Buenaventura, of course, Buenaventura is a support, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and every time the teacher, when I was in class, say, lift up your hand if you want to speak in English. Every
Mm-hmm.
time I try to lift my
Rise.
hand,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Raise your
my
hand.
hand and say I love English language. But every every time
Mm-hmm.
when I want to ask something,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the teacher made me feel that my opinion is not good. Try
Mm.
to charm my mouth and
Uh-huh.
don't to.
Underestimate
Yeah,
what you
this was my
say. Uh-huh.
experience.
Mm.
Nowadays, I realize that I know a few teachers in Buenaventura don't have the ability to speak in English. Only
Mm.
the boy on the street that he want to go to another country had the experience, have the ability to speak in English. But
Mm.
nowadays, I love English, but when I was kid, I hate English language. You know,
Oh,
that is
really?
my
Okay.
story.
Yeah, this is a good experience. Thank you for sharing that. Those things happens all the time, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody?
Hello, teacher.
See, Ceci?
One high school,
Uh-huh.
I was very good experience with my teacher, usually
Uh-huh. Yeah.
explanatory the lesson plan. He explained activity. Uh, I participation with my partner, and uh, I was learning English
Mm-hmm.
in the other situation.
Uh-huh.
Por example, in institution,
Mm-hmm.
I love my teacher English. Uh, she is teaching me very good.
Okay.
I had an experience in this moment with my
Okay.
teacher
Uh-huh.
to university.
Uh-huh. Yes.
For example, in the spring, the teacher usually Cecilia, please,
Uh-huh.
you better your vocabulary, your pronunciation.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is important for me because has better pronunciation, better
Uh-huh.
skill in
Okay.
my competence
Okay.
in
Yes. Yes.
language.
Important. Mm-hmm.
In this moment, I practice with the link himself,
Mm-hmm.
the teacher. I
Okay.
practice my activity.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I think very much vocabulary,
Uh-huh.
pronunciation, and the activity, conversation with my
Uh-huh.
partner.
Of
Uh,
course. Yeah. You need to
the
practice. Uh-huh.
in the watching TV, the
Uh-huh.
documentary in English.
Of course. Yes. If you
This
are
is,
watching
this is
Netflix,
important
please,
for me.
everything in English.
Netflix,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
movie, the
Yes.
link,
Mm-hmm.
the teacher send.
Okay.
This
Okay.
important the interaction with partner in
Okay.
different activities in the
Okay.
classroom. I
Great.
also
Uh-huh.
practice my study in the high
Mm-hmm.
school. The
Mm-hmm.
practice is important for me. I'm a student. Practicing conversation, exercise, interaction. Uh, I I had I had lesson plan
Uh-huh.
necessary according a your needs of student. This is
Uh-huh.
important.
Yes, yes.
The
Yeah.
perception the
Uh-huh.
student because
Of
the teachers
course.
can because the teachers can do
Mm-hmm.
do better lesson plan
Uh-huh. To
and
improve the
better
lesson plan.
activity.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yes, yes, yes. To plan your classes is very important. Okay, yeah, because that help you to have a good class, to have good activities, and according to your students' needs. Yes, that's true. Thank you, Cecilia. Okay, so okay, I'm going to move on to the other story. This is another experience, and this is a strong one. Okay. Okay, so this is Mr. Jones. Dear, can you please turn on your microphone? Carlos, please turn it off. Carlos, turn your microphone off, please. Okay, thank you. Mr. Jones turned his head slowly. He looked down at me. What is it, Jennifer? He asked. He was now leaning on the counter and assumed agreements of exasperating waiting. I hated that. Whenever I had to say something, he didn't seem to want to hear it, as if I were unintelligent and slow. But whenever he wanted me to say something, I didn't have anything to say. And so again, I would feel stupid. Mr. Jones was so good at making me feel worthless and like an idiot. I don't think I am dumb, but whenever I tried to prove it, he always thought of something to throw me off guard. Well, Jennifer, did you have some ingenious comment or question to ask me? I have an answer for everything, you know. He smiled smugly, while he was demonstrably awaiting my response. I know I was nothing, I replied. My neck and face grew hot with embarrassment. Again, I had made myself look like an idiot in his eyes. As Mr. Jones continued with the lesson, I stared at my book, mulling over what I had to wanted to ask. Why did I suddenly lose courage to speak up? I felt frustrated and defeated as I could not help but focus on my inner confusion. Jennifer, are you awake? No time to sleep yet. Mr. Jones' mock sarcasm made me sit up with a shock. A flash of desperation made my whole body tremble. Then my feeling of embarrassment turned into frustrated anger. And I don't know why, but I slammed my book shut. My reaction caused a stir of laughter in my whole class. I felt like exploding. Next day, I stayed at home, sick. Yeah. So I hope that you are not Mr. Jones. Okay. This is something that is so sick and so horrible for any student. Okay. So I just read this because I don't want you to be any teacher of this. Okay. Any one of this.
Teacher, I by hearing that, teacher,
Yes,
can
yes,
you hear me?
Carlos.
By hearing that, I could think of an old-fashioned teacher model who's teaching, based on making students feel stupid, and somehow to that type of teaching that is old and
Old fashioned. It's
it goes
traditional
like
classrooms.
it goes taking students to be mechanical instead of
Yes.
being critical thinking students. So again, it looks perfect for a old-fashioned teacher passage in life in teaching life.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, our job is to encourage our students to be better people, and
That's true.
sometimes yes, this behavior in a teacher is just horrible. I mean, this can be happening right now, right? So that's why I
Yeah, but
just try to
I listen.
sorry.
And I suppose, again, it looks like an old story from long ago. And again, somehow we are in charge of
Yeah.
changing. Of course, we need help from governments
Yeah.
in order to have more investment.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's totally difficult because we cannot think of a new technology model when the only tool we have is the board and the
Uh-huh.
copy paste method. That's the method you can see everywhere in schools in Colombia. You don't see
Yeah.
like much research. You don't see
No.
like much lab time. Just copy and paste,
Paste. Yes.
and that makes students to feel like they're just being mechanic. They don't think, they don't analyze information. So
Uh-huh.
again, and also that's the reason for this, because teachers do it that so because they don't have any other tool. Imagine a
Uh-huh.
40
For
students
working.
class.
My goodness. Yes, I know that.
So that if you're a teacher, you want to have
Uh-huh.
discipline on that class, and that's the only way.
Yeah, to be an
Copy,
angry teacher. Yeah.
that's true, and especially for early ages is going to be like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Carla, that's true. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Anybody?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Valentina.
Yeah, I consider that respectful it's really necessary, and we as a teacher and our profession, the idea is to teach content of a different subject and
Mm-hmm.
obviously values
Mm-hmm.
to in each student
Mm-hmm.
so that they could be a good man or women in a future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Thank you. Yeah, Valentina, yes, it's true. We need to be very respectful with our students. And sometimes I know it is difficult because, as Carlos says, we have a large classroom with a lot of students inside, and we have to manage a classroom, and it's very difficult to keep them in a good behavior at least. Okay, so
Clear.
let's have this in. Yeah, Cecilia. No, no. Okay, okay. So teachers
Hello,
may
teacher.
claim. Okay, I'm going to read this. Teachers may claim adamantly that they care deeply about their students and that they want them to feel successful in their studies. Indeed, we may be convinced that the teachers are very sincere. But no matter what teachers say, their feelings and intentions really are. What seems ultimately more important is how the students experience them. So, uh, it would be a good activity for us teachers, try to ask to our students how they feel with our job. I mean, how they feel in the way we behave or the way we treat them, right? So that could be a good way to know if we are doing a good job. I mean, I know that we are doing a good job, but maybe we could improve. Okay, maybe they think that we are too straight, or maybe they think that they would like to be more, I don't know, to be maybe a little bit kinder. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so this is a conclusion that I took from the text. It says, it is important for teachers to realize that belief has the creative power to actually bring forth what is believed about the other person. Being encouraging, believing in the students, and giving student recognition seem critical pedagogical qualities. Recognition, listen. A teacher who truly believes in a student can have incredible pedagogical power. Okay, so believing in your students. What the above sample from a student description of classroom experiences seem to urge in that we need to be attuned to the way that the students experience things, including our teaching practices. What is needed is it is the development of a discipline that can be attentive to the manner that the students experience their lives in classroom. I have tried to show that this discipline is pedagogy, and I have sketched how pedagogy has become a term of discourses that have little to do with educational concerns or what is good for children. We need to rescue the language of pedagogy and develop its practice in the service of our children, for the sake of our children, the students we teach. So pedagogy is not only the art of teaching. Pedagogy goes linked with the behavior that we have in our classrooms with them, okay, how we treat them, and the image that we are giving to them, okay? So that's pedagogy, at least for me. So this is the discussion that I wanted to do with you. So this is a kind of way that we can have for practicing our English. And I don't know, what do you think? It was good? Was it good? What do you think?
Sorry, teacher, there are so many noise. Maybe it's the Carlos microphone is okay.
Okay,
I can hear you. I can hear nothing.
okay. Bueno, muchachos, pues esto fue, digamos, prácticamente lo que quería hacer por esta cuarta sesión. Es como simplemente tratar de tener una pequeña discusión acerca de el tema pedagógico. Y pues no sé cómo les pareció.
Pues, tutora Jennifer, primeramente decirle, no sé si hablar en inglés o en español.
Podemos como quieran, tranquila, no hay problema.
En español, bueno. No, muy interesante, tutora, muy interesante. La verdad que siento un poco de pena porque pues, siempre me gusta parar.
Carlos, porfa, cierra tu micrófono, porfa.
Carlos, ¿me oyes?
Carlos está escuchando y tiene el micrófono abierto.
Ajá, sí, eso
Sí.
así ha sido. Ok, Carlos, te agradezco, hombre, Carlos.
Gracias. Carlos, gracias.
Sí, entonces decía, sí, pues siento un poco de vergüenza no poder haberme preparado para el tema, un tema muy interesante, la pedagogía. Yo he sido pues docente en parte, he trabajado ahorita soy operador de radio en una empresa de pilotos, pero siempre había trabajado como docente y sé lo importante y lo significante que son estos temas y debatirlo más bien, o sea, nuevas ideas, tener nuevas ideas los compañeros y no es sino, pues he cogido apunte de lo que ha planteado Carlos, lo que ha dicho usted, doctora, lo que ha dicho Valentina, Cecilia, y entonces pues ya queda ir profundizando en este tema que tiene mucha tela que cortar, como se dice coloquialmente.
Mucha. Ajá, la idea era con eso también que ustedes tuvieran como un poquito de idea de lo del mapa mental, los que no hubieran hecho o los que ya lo hubieran hecho, pues como mejorarlo de algún modo. También pues yo sé que los cogí como en frío, pero pues la verdad era algo que quería hacer hace rato y pues este es un experimento, la verdad, un experimento que hice y pues la idea es que sigamos haciéndolo. De pronto no muy seguido, pues desafortunadamente por el corto tiempo que disponemos, pero sí al menos dejar un espaciocito para este tipo de actividades para que también practiquemos y me incluyo porque ustedes saben que el lenguaje es una cosa que se pierde así rapidito. Bueno,
así es.
Sí. Entonces, mis niños, si no tienen ninguna cosa, pues ya haríamos por terminado. Y para la siguiente semana, entonces tendríamos otrica, pero entonces en eso íbamos a discutir. Les voy a explicar lo que van a hacer para la tarea final. ¿Listo?
Listo, profe, muchísimas gracias por su tiempo y por el tema. Yo siento lo mismo que, que el compañero. Necesitamos como más preparación en ese tema. Me gustó mucho, profe, el tema. Voy a ver de nuevo el video, analizarlo y pensar en nuevas ideas. Y muchísimas gracias a usted y a los compañeros, profe.
Bueno, me alegro mucho que les haya gustado. Un abrazo para todos, muchos
Gracias,
y gracias
por
por los mensajitos. Ay, tan bonita, ¿no? A ustedes por su tiempo.
Interesante el tema para reflexionar,
Sí,
para practicar.
reflexionar.
Es nuestro quehacer pedagógico.
Sí,
Como docentes en formación o en el ejercicio de la profesión.
ajá, exactamente. Eso es lo que quería, que nos pusiéramos a pensar y quedáramos ahí como en vilo con eso. Vale, muchas gracias, mis niños. Entonces, un abrazo muy grande y nos vemos la próxima semana. Y pues, cualquier cosa me escriben. Bueno, un abrazo.
Listo, profe,
Igual
gracias.
para
Chao,
usted. Muchas
muchachos.
gracias.
Bueno, chao, chao.
Bye.